Hello and welcome. Glad to have you join us on another edition of the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. I am Gabriel Ojile, your anchor tonight. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is leaving nothing to chance in ensuring that Nigeria is self-sufficient in food production. To achieve this goal, the ministry is providing farmers with the necessary support in their farming activities, and only recently it flagged off the dry season aerial spray in 12 frontline states to stem the tide of transboundary pests, posing a major challenge to having a bumper harvest. Tonight on the program, we shall be looking at the pest control measures of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in order to tackle transboundary agricultural pests such as Quelea birds. The full program will come your way shortly after this timeout. Keep watching.
Every part of Nigeria has something to offer.
Transforming agriculture in Nigeria begins with the diary of activities of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and its agencies. In the lineup, Agric Minister to collaborate with Plateau State Governor to enhance agriculture, and Agric Ministry to forge partnership with Self-Help Africa to mitigate climate pollution. Details after this short break. Don't go away. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, says his ministry will collaborate with Plateau State government in order to realize the full agricultural potential of the state, particularly in Irish potato farming. The minister stated this while exchanging views with the governor of Plateau State when he paid him a courtesy call in his office in Abuja. Senator Kyari further said that the ministry would support the state with agricultural inputs to increase crop yield.
Our land mass is shrinking, and we have to collaborate assiduously with the subnationals, with the state governments and state governors, so as to bring us out of this challenge that we face as a country in terms of food insecurity. So with the little space that we have a growing population, we have climate change, insecurity. We need to increase our yield, and I'm happy that His Excellency has made mention of, from his communication to us, on the need to get good seed variety that will increase yields of some of the crops that is well known on the plateau.
On his part, the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfang, disclosed that the state is stepping up efforts to enhance the value chain of Irish potatoes as well as livestock. Mutfang says the collaboration between the state and ministry will no doubt boost the fortunes of Plateau State in agriculture.
We are strategizing on other things like horticulture. We want to put Nigeria on the map, the horticulture map of the world. And so we are looking forward to how to collaborate with some of your departments in the ministry for the kind. I'm sure there's a lot of expertise in this ministry that is yet to be fully utilized. We'll be glad to have those inputs. Of course, the Department of Farm Inputs, I'm sure, will be knocking on your doors very soon. We'll be looking at how we can also leverage on mechanization, which is the way to go.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security used the opportunity to condole the governor and the people of Plateau State over the deaths recorded in the crisis experienced in parts of the state in recent months. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is collaborating with Self-Help Africa to address the negative effect of climate change on agricultural production. The Director of Agricultural Land and Climate Management Services, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Oshadia Oladipekun, disclosed this while speaking in an interview with journalists in Abuja. He stated that the collaboration will center on the reduction of short-lived climate pollutants in the Nigerian agricultural sector project.
We all know the issue of climate change. That once these elements or components are in the atmosphere, they tend to open up the ozone layer. So and we have what we call global warming. So the idea is to reduce some of these emissions as much as possible in order to prevent global warming.
Speaking in the same vein at the interview session, the country director of Self-Help Africa, Joy Aderele, stated that Self-Help Africa has almost 50 years of experience working with farmers in Africa and 25 years in Nigeria with a vision of creating sustainable livelihood and healthy lives for all in a changing climate.
This program is a pilot program with farmers to reduce open burning. We know that when people burn their farm waste, it can cause a lot of health issues and environmental issues. So this project is an 18-month pilot to work with 500 farmers in Boko. But the learnings from this project is going to be across Nigeria.
Pest and disease control are significant aspects of ensuring food security because if left unchecked, they can stall the efforts of farmers to produce food. This underscores why the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is making conscious effort to tackle diseases and transboundary agricultural pests in Nigeria. In our next segment, we shall examine the dangers of transboundary agricultural pests such as Quelea birds and the efforts of the ministry to address the problem through aerial spray, which it flagged off recently and targeted at 12 frontline states most prone to Quelea invasion during dry seasons. Keep watching.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is making a deliberate effort to enhance dry season farming of rice, sorghum, wheat, among other crops. But these crops are vulnerable to pests and diseases if left unchecked. One of the major pests that poses danger to these crops is Quelea bird. Quelea bird, also known as the red-billed weaver, is a small bird, approximately 12 centimeters long, and weighing 15 to 26 grams. It is native to sub-Saharan Africa and is sometimes called Africa's feathered locust. The Director of Veterinary and Pest Control Department of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, Kolumba Teru Vakuru, sheds more light on the nature of the Quelea birds.
Quelea bird is a wild bird. So collectively we call them Quelea birds. They are transboundary pests in agriculture. They move as groups, sometimes in their thousands, and in some instances also exceeding that number. They feed mainly on grains, rice, maize, millet, sorghum, and wheat. So seasonally, their number can go up to the extent that if they descend on a given farmland, they can destroy that farm completely within a short time.
Quelea birds feed primarily on the seeds of grasses and also cause extensive damage to crops such as rice, sorghum, wheat, millet, among others. Quelea birds affect farms all year round, but they have specific season when their threat is most pronounced.
In the dry season, the availability of feed for these birds is not as enough as during rainy season. So that means you have the farmland in dry season concentrated along the watering beds, and then where water is available for irrigation. And so because of the scarcity of feed, they now congregate together to look for anywhere there's available farm to destroy. And so that makes the impact so grievous by this period.
Quelea birds destroy over 1 million tons of farm produce in Africa annually. In Nigeria, the birds affect crop production in states like Yobe, Jigawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Kaduna, Kano, Borno, Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, Adamawa, Taraba, Zamfara, among other states.
It will be good to mention here that when it comes to dry season, the havoc these birds cause are not just restricted to these two geopolitical zones. wherever food is available, there they will go in group, destroy, and then go back to base. What I mean by base is their roasting site, which I mentioned earlier. So that the impact, the negative impact, are mainly in these states that I have mentioned.
Early July 2023, news report indicated an invasion of farms by Quelea birds in Kebbi State, destroying more than 75,000 hectares of rice farm. Yobe State was another state affected by the Quelea bird. In 2021, about 672 farmers were affected in Yobe State. Gombe State also suffers from perennial attacks from Quelea birds. The acting program manager, Gombe State Agricultural Development Project, Maina Jonathan, throws more light on the damage caused by Quelea birds in the state.
Actually, if they came and no prior knowledge or no knowledge of their coming, they normally inflicted heavy losses to farmers around that area. At times, it goes to 60 to 70% of the agricultural produce being devoured by these birds.
To address the menace of Quelea birds, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security routinely embarks on control measures. Most recently, on Tuesday, the 26th of March 2024, they flagged off the 2023 to 2024 dry season aerial spray control of transboundary agricultural pests such as Quelea birds, grasshoppers, and locust in 12 frontline states of Kebbi, Yobe, Jigawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Kano, Borno, Katsina, Sokoto, Adamawa, Taraba, and Zamfara. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, performed the ceremony at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport, Birnin Kebbi, Kebbi State. Dignitaries present at the flag-off ceremony were the Governor of Kebbi State, Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, Commissioner of Agriculture, Kebbi State leaders of farmers' associations. Others include the farmers and community leaders. Speaking during the flag-off, the minister stated that transboundary pests pose a great threat to food security, saying that the ministry is working in collaboration with 12 frontline states for effective pest control, which in turn will ensure bumper harvest.
Nigeria is blessed with vast agricultural land resources and great potentials for future expansion to meet national demand for production and bumper harvest, leading to the desired self-sufficiency in food and possibly for export. However, transboundary and migratory pests pose significant threats to agricultural production because of the devastating effect on crops, especially cereal crops such as rice and wheat, causing severe havoc to livelihoods to our great farmers and major threat to food security. This is why we are taking serious, collaborative and synergetic steps to prevent and control these pests to avert their devastating effects on crops and the ecosystem.
The minister further stated that the ministry is also training technical staff to build their capacity in agricultural pest control.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are aware that prevention and control of agricultural pests are very critical in ensuring increased production and bumper harvests. Thus, this crucial activity of the agricultural sector requires cooperation of farming communities and coordinated efforts among all stakeholders to achieve a successful and effective agricultural pest control in the country. Over the years, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has been supporting the frontline states with pesticides and flight hours for the crucial control of these agricultural pests to mitigate their devastating effects on crops such as rice, maize, millet, sorghum, and wheat. The ministry has also supported Niger Republic in the past with pesticides and sprayers to strengthen cross-border collaboration in the fight against Quelea birds.
The minister also appreciated the governor of Kebbi State for hosting the flag-off ceremony and for his support in the quest for food security. The ministry provides chemicals and helicopters to ensure that the Quelea birds and other agricultural pests are killed right from their breeding sites to prevent them from destroying crops across farmlands in the 12 states. Also speaking during the flag-off ceremony, The Governor of Kebbi State, Dr. Nasir Idris, appreciated the effort of the federal government in tackling transboundary pests and enhancing agriculture generally.
Let me first and foremost also thank the federal government for this wonderful gesture. Kebbi State is strategic to food security in the country. Therefore, any support will go a long way to getting us achieve results faster and better. I know the federal government is doing a lot to assist the state to develop agriculture and to produce more food for the citizens of this country. I'm ever grateful for the overall farmer-friendly policies of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu administration. May I equally most sincerely appreciate my good brother, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, for his unflinching support to my administration and the people of Kebbi State.
Governor Idris further emphasized the destructive nature of transboundary agricultural pests and the need for such a timely control.
As you know, koala bears and the grasshopper are very destructive, and feeding action could reverse food security effort due to the colossal damage that both government must therefore be very proactive on the front in their response to pest attack. The 2024 National Flag Off for the control of koala bears taking place today underscore the proactiveness and the importance of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu attached to koala wheeling agricultural challenges by nipping them in the bud. Concerted and timely and the intensified efforts are required to stem the violence of the menace of koala bears to save our crops and ensure food security and ensure continuous income flow to the farmers.
The governor also highlighted the steps taken by the Kebbi State government in tackling transboundary agricultural pests in the state.
Kebbi State government had earlier embarked on koala bear control to the tune of about 40 million naira. The cumulative effect of the aforementioned amount to 23,434,375,500 naira only. This is a clear demonstration of my commitment towards the upliftment of agriculture and food security and sufficiency. The outcome of my effort will be renewed hope for the citizens, creation of gainful employment, especially to our teeming youth, attainment of food security, more income to farmers and producers, and better livelihood of our households.
The Kebbi State Commissioner of Agriculture, Alhaji Shehu Ma'azu, also highlighted the efforts being made by the state government to communicate the preventive measures to farmers.
The challenges of agriculture in Nigeria are numerous, but climate change and transboundary pest infestation are peculiar to us in the frontline states. That is why, however, based on the guidance of His Excellency, Dr. Nasir Idris, we in Kebbi, we have developed proactive measures in dealing with these monsters. We have developed a climate-smart agriculture profile for our state and has translated it into Hausa as well as used the Arabic alphabet to transcribe it into Ajami. This, we believe, will help in the dissemination of relevant information for adaptation, mitigation practices, and build a resilient food system. We equally entered into a standing contract with an indigenous aviation company for areas of spray once pest infestation is reported.
During the tour of the facilities to be used for the control of the agricultural pest, the Director of Veterinary and Pest Control Department of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, Kolumba Teru Vakuru, said the exercise is for two important reasons.
There are two basic reasons for that. The first one you mentioned when you are giving your remarks and welcoming the Honorable Minister is to cushion the devastating effect of the Quelea pests on farmers. It is actually a critical control activity, but whatever efforts that has been done, and if this one is not taken into cognizance, it will be just a waste of resources, a waste of time, big frustration for the farmers. Most of them will not bounce back. The second reason for that is that this is timely because we want to get these pests at a localized area where they are brooding. So we'll be able to attack them and then reduce their population such that they will not be able to affect our farms. And our farmers will have a bumper harvest.
Farmers' associations were also present at the flag-off. One of them was the Women in Trade and Agriculture, an association that unites women that are into different trades and farming activities.
It has also been involved in various activities promoting women, encouraging women in various states. And we have representation here in Kebbi State and in local governments. And we are indeed grateful because you are indeed interested in the affairs of women, and we are grateful for being part of it. Today being an epoch event, a very remarkable one that involves the women in agriculture. We are indeed grateful.
The All Farmers Association of Nigeria was also represented at the ceremony, and they applauded the government for the effort.
It gives me very great pleasure to express my profound gratitude to the organization that organized this pest control, because pest control is one of the problems that facing the farmers of Kebbi State. Pest controls can restrict the yielding of crops, can prevent the germination of crops, and sometimes the pests can even affect the human beings.
The target of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is to tackle every impediment to food security. Join hands with the government to develop the agricultural sector for food security, job and wealth creation. This is where we draw the curtains tonight. Join us again, same time, same station next week. Good night.